Grabbies Hats. "This way to the big tree," said Buffy Bear. The three friends were back at the fork in the road. This time, Maxie and Minnie were going to follow the right person, and they would go on the right trail. "Let's go," said Buffy Bear. Before long, the three friends came to the two booths where Gigi and Grabby had been. Maxie and Minnie wanted to see what Grabby had been doing. Had he changed his sign? "There it is," said Minnie. "Grabby's Grabby service, right next to Gigi's giving service." "He did change his sign," said Maxie. "From now on, he will be a giver instead of a taker." "How do you know?" asked Buffy Bear. "Because the sign says so," said Maxie. "Does that make it so?" asked Buffy Bear. Minnie looked surprised. She had not thought of Grabby's going back to his grabbing ways. Maxie looked surprised too. He had thought for sure that Grabby would keep on with his giving service. "If Grabby is really going to run a giving service, he must give up his old Grabby ways," said Maxie. "Just as a person who follows Jesus must give up his old sinful ways," said Minnie. "But how can we help Grabby give up his old ways?" Maxie asked. "Let's ask Gigi," said Minnie. "She will know if Grabby is still Grabby." Gigi was happy to see her friends again. She invited them into her Gigi's Giving Service booth. "Grabby has not tried to grab any more of my golden eggs," said Gigi. "But what has he done with the golden eggs he took from you before?" asked Maxie. "I guess he still has them," said Gigi. "And I guess he still has something else he shouldn't have." Maxie and Minnie looked surprised. "What?" they asked. "The hats," said Gigi. "He tricked me with those hats. They helped him in his Grabby ways." "Oh no," said Maxie. "He must get rid of those hats. If he doesn't, he may be tempted to go back to his Grabby ways with them." Grabby smiled when he saw the four friends again, but he was ashamed when Minnie and Gigi picked up some of the golden eggs. They said nothing. They did not need to say anything. Grabby knew what they were thinking. Grabby was ashamed when Maxie and Buffy Bear picked up his hats one by one. They said nothing. They did not need to say anything. Grabby knew what they were thinking. I changed the sign outside," he said. Grabby pointed to the sign. He had marked out grabbing and painted in giving. Now it read Grabby's Giving Service, not Grabby's Grabbing Service. But the four friends, Maxie, Minnie, Gigi, and Buffy Bear, said nothing. Grabby knew what they were thinking. I've been thinking about some people who need those golden eggs," he said. "I just haven't had the time to give them away yet." Grabby watched Minnie and Gigi as he said that. It was a silly excuse. He knew it, and he knew that Minnie and Gigi knew it. He was even more ashamed now. I should have given those hats away," he said. "I guess I won't be needing them anymore, but they seem too nice to just give away." Grabby watched Maxie and Buffy Bear as he said that. It was a silly excuse. He knew it, and he knew that Maxie and Buffy Bear knew it. He was even more ashamed now. "But I promised to give up my Grabby ways," he argued. It was still another silly excuse. Grabby looked at his four friends. They looked at him. Then Grabby looked at the floor. Grabby tried to think of one last silly excuse, but every one he thought of was too silly to say. "It's time to give some things away," he said. "Want to help me give away some hats and eggs?" The four friends smiled. Of course they would help Grabby give those things away. They would do almost anything to keep him from going back to his old grabbing ways.